How's it going, folks? And you're very welcome along to the Motorcycle Hour podcast, where we talk all things motorcycling. A quick shout out to our sponsors, Terence Healy Motorcycles Tullamore, your main Honda dealer for the Midlands. City Spares Motorcycling, Cherry Orchard Industrial Estate Dublin, your Honda and Suzuki agent. And motorcyclingtraining.ie, your one-stop shop for all your motorcycle training needs. Before we kick it off, we do want to give a reminder that this podcast is intended for audience of 18 years and older. So just remember this when deciding where and when you listen. How's it going, folks? And you're very welcome back to the Motorcycle Hour podcast. We're on to episode number 55. Who would have thought it? Before we kick it off, we want to give a massive, massive thanks to everybody that came along with us at the weekend for the Kevin Keyes fundraiser. We were absolutely blown away. Sometimes when we're doing these podcasts and stuff, we kind of, I suppose you're kind of wondering, is it worth it in a way? Because obviously what people don't see is there's an awful lot of work goes on behind the scenes with this and an awful lot of expense and stuff. But when you organise a run like we did on Saturday and you get the crowds that were out there, it's just absolutely fantastic. So we had 167 bikes in total that registered. We had a fantastic spin. We do, massive hats off to Kildare Biker Spins and Meath. To be honest about it, without them, none of this would have happened. To be fair, they got behind us at the start and helped us out with the whole thing. And again, a massive thanks to Terence Healy for hosting us. I suppose for the after party, put in an awful lot of effort into it, setting the place up. Put himself to a lot of expense as well in giving away, goodie bags and stuff like that. So massive, massive thanks. But of course, the biggest thanks of all goes out to everybody that took the time to get on their bike, head down there and show a bit of support. We were able to raise just under €3,500 for Kevin Keyes because he's a big year ahead of him with racing, which is absolutely fantastic. He was blown away with it. But I suppose aside from the money end of things, the thing that he mentioned that really blew him away was the support he got, the amount of people that was there, because obviously with motorbike racing, it can be kind of solitary in a lot of ways. But when you organise a run like that and you see that many people showing up and taking their time out of their weekend to go and show a bit of support, he was just blown away with it. So again, massive, massive thanks to everybody that jumped on board on Saturday and came along. We really, really fucking appreciate it. Without further ado, we're over. Charlie Riley's here sitting at me. How are you, Cha?
No, what about?
Did you enjoy Saturday?
Absolutely, yeah.
Had a ball.
I got to screw the shite out of that Zed.
Yeah, bastard, yeah.
I enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I went on the Triumph Tiger because I brought the young lad with me. Yes, man. My head was racked. No, I loved it. I absolutely enjoyed every minute of it. I loved bringing it.
Every time the Cha went wrong,
every time you
were vomiting.
There was a couple of jigsers going by me. I was just there, Lord, yes, I'd love to drop about 3 gears here now and take off. But no, I totally fucking enjoyed it.
It was good. It was very good, and everybody behaved themselves. And
well, I wouldn't say everybody, but
all right,
the majority.
I'm trying
of people
to be nice, right?
Behave themselves, yeah.
But it turned out a lovely day, and everybody go home safe. And
yeah, exactly.
And as you said, we raised just under 3,500.
Yeah,
for Kevin, and he was blown away by it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it was great. It's going to be a yearly thing now. We're going to plan on do the same again next year, as the fella said. So bigger and better things.
I think we're going to try it a bit earlier.
Yeah,
say midsummer time.
Absolutely. Yeah,
that we can actually enjoy it. Go a bit earlier from, say, Gaelic Burger. Stay a bit longer at the plaza and a bit longer over at Terence. Yeah. Enjoy the day. Have a real good day.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%, yeah. No, it sounds like a plan. McQuaid, how did you enjoy, Roscoe McQuaid is here, did you enjoy the old spin there, Saturday?
I did. It was nice to be on a working bike.
Yeah.
And nothing that I'm aware of fell off the bike.
There's not much left on it to fall off, to be fair. Next thing is going to fall off is the fucking engine or something. But it was good, man. It was good.
No, great outspin. Loads of people.
We had a little bit of work we had to do on it during the week before the spin, but
say a regular leg got repaired.
Yeah.
Replaced. New battery.
She's on the button now.
On the button now. She's fucking flying it now.
Yeah. No, to be fair, yeah.
Oh, great out spin. The spin from here over. I was
savage.
Had the bit where I got Kevin on the fucking
on
the video. Wow. I thought it was great, lad. I was like tipping along there, and I was like, "Jeez, I'm in front of a TT rider here. Oh, this is great crack." And then all of a sudden, over the right shoulder, boom on the back wheel.
Oh, fuck yeah! Right took off. I was after stopping and letting them go, holding back the traffic. Then I took off, and a couple of jigsers and that. Jeez, it was so fucking lovely. 3 or 4 of them together, up in the back wheels.
Class.
And I'd no fucking video camera yoke. It would have been lovely, yeah.
I know. Yeah,
and then the old Prez joined with his member.
Absolutely.
From the yard here. He kept me over with his B King.
His B
and
King.
3 more of them arrived over in Kelly.
Oh, Lord. I just want to say, I nearly didn't see you the whole day after that.
I was evading you.
I said you must surely broke down. And we had a few little technical difficulties before we got going here.
She saw the battery was just obviously, it was 5 weeks or so since that yog was out of the shed, so it was a little bit lazy, but it sorted itself out. But no, I just know I'm struggling with the back, so I just toddled along nice and steady and didn't get overly excited nor anything like that. So I stayed in the middle of the pack like a normal Joe. So
honest to God, you're better off. But it was sad. Like, there was no mad speed. Like, it was just all nice and, you know what I mean?
There was no mad speed.
Nudge, wink,
nudge, wink.
But it all went off well. We were absolutely delighted with it. You couldn't have asked for any better. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
And a couple of gorgeous bikes on it. Question for you, and you can't vote for your own one. What was the bike of the meet? Is there only one bike now that you've seen that went, oh, yeah?
There was one deadly Z1000 SX in the dark green that I like.
I don't think I even see it.
There was 2 or 3 of them.
It was the 1100 one. The new one.
No, I don't think it was a new one.
No? I don't remember
seeing it. There was one there. I came in with Davina.
Oh, I do know the guy, yeah. It's, is it, yeah, I think it's, I know the fella you're talking about. He's a Miles. Is it Chris Miles or Stephen Miles? I know the fella you're talking about. Yeah, it's a gorgeous bike, actually. Yeah.
Lovely looking up.
Yeah, nice bike, yeah. What about you, Chad?
I'm still mad about that GSX 14 Harry has.
Oh, yeah.
He done some job in that.
It is class.
And Chucky was there, but he wasn't on the one that won the prize.
I don't think he brings that with the shed.
No, he doesn't. He puts it up on the mantelpiece and fucking throws sugar at it.
What was Chucky on?
I actually not sure what Chucky was on. I wasn't minding when he said he didn't bring the fucking show bike. Like.
Yeah. I
wasn't minding. But I told him I'd mention him on the podcast. I says, I'll fucking mention you on the podcast.
Yeah.
The laughs over
Yeah. I think for me, there was a few that stuck out, but there was an MT10. Same.
The same paint colour as your van.
Same colour as my van.
Yeah,
that was nice.
The primer. That was tasty.
Savage, yeah.
That chap's from Kilkenny.
Is he? Yeah. Just a couple of lovely.
He came up from Kilkenny. Yeah.
That was nice. There was a couple of nice BMW S1000s. What else? There was a nice. I don't know who owned it. A new Ducati Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
That's the one I was going to mention.
Yeah, that was nice, man. I was
didn't
looking
say
at
that.
Oh, yeah. It was only down a couple of bikes from that MT10 there, yeah.
Oh, was it?
I don't know who owns it, but by Jez, that was nice.
I didn't go up close and personal when I was just walking by and I said, that'd be my cup of tea.
Yeah. Do you watch the video of the Missing Flyer? He has one.
Has he?
Yeah, he's had to get one, yeah. Some York.
Nice looking thing, all right.
Oh, be the Lord, Jez. That was a couple of gorgeous bikes. That was every breed of York had.
There was. And I tell you, look,
lovely stuff.
In fairness, as you said yourself, Brenda, earlier, in fairness to everybody that took the time to come out, like, apart from throwing the few bob in for Kevin and all, it was costing them as well for fuel, coffees, whatever.
Yeah.
So, it was expense on everybody, and in fairness to them all, but that's the biking community for you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That's the bike. They'll always scratch your fucking back.
They will, without doubt. Yeah. And as well as that, just talking about bikes as well, another smashing bike over Terence Healy's, that XTR 1300. How was that? Do you see that one? The blue one with the silver stripes on it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the extra,
Yeah.
the naked one. Yeah, I've seen it there, yeah. It's,
I don't know how that's not sold yet, man. It's not big money either, like.
No, she's lovely,
Ah,
isn't it?
it's absolutely. There's a couple of fucking savage bikes over there.
Yeah.
Absolutely
not a
class.
14 though, Charlie, is it?
It's not 14, no.
Way over
No,
that.
the 14 is the daddy of them.
Overrated.
Not a word about
Overrated.
it. You
I can
big
see- I can
fucking
see-
Jesse. You
I can
couldn't
see-
ride it. That's all that happened to
I
you.
can see Harry Harrison's blood pressure rising there. A fucking overrated.
No
That's all
word
there.
about it. No,
Absolutely.
No. But you know what he had over there? And if any fella now has the big kahunas,
Right.
turns as a lovely 2017 CBR 1000 or fucking...
Is that the one that was at the front?
Yeah, it's outside.
Yeah.
Always.
That was nice.
But now, she's not your normal
No.
CBR 1000 or now, let me tell you.
Yeah.
You know?
She's some baby.
Yeah.
She's not the SP one, is it this? No,
No,
it's not
it
this.
wasn't.
No.
She's some baby though.
This thing, kid.
Yeah, no, it's got
Oh,
a mint.
mint.
Absolutely, they're all fucking mint. To be fair,
Everything
they are,
has, yeah.
Everything has absolutely mint. But no, it absolutely was class from start to finish. Now it was absolutely deadly. We have a few videos up and running. We'll have more in the
But in
coming
fairness-
days.
More in the next week or so.
In fairness, the
What's
Terns...
taking you so long to make the post?
Fucking learn how to do this yourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Just stick it up on Facebook.
No, you just you,
you've
don't, you
gotta-
have to.
you've gotta
you
pick
can't
all
just
your...
do that.
For fuck's sake.
Folks,
Who do you think these are?
Here,
Man, Hollywood now are...
Well, in fairness to Terns and Janelle now, they put on a Greyhound show too.
They did.
They did, yeah.
100%.
And always do. Now, in fairness to them, you know what I mean?
Without a doubt.
You
Without
know?
a shadow of a doubt. Yeah.
Seen some of
100%.
his new helmets up there.
And you know
Helmets are
something,
lovely.
believe it or
Lovely.
not, isn't it grand at the end of the spin though to be parking outside a bike shop, be able to get a cup of coffee, a cup of tea,
Yeah.
a mineral, whatever, and go in and browse around the bike.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
100%.
It is serious, like.
It was class.
Yeah.
I was looking at some of the helmets. Then I bumped into a guy upstairs and he came over to me and he was giving out folk. He says, "Do you realise," he says, "you're after costing me about fucking," he said, 10 grand since the start of the year. And I was like, "What?" He says, "Yeah, that fucking podcast," he says, I was kind of into my bikes and I started listening to it and, jeez, man, I'm after buying 2 bikes and helmets and gear and all. I reckon he's after thinking about 10 grand. So I says, well,
10 grand
sure,
well
look
spent.
at exactly 10 grand well fucking spent.
Yeah, well, unless you're sulking and add another fucking 10 and get 2 more.
A few more,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
And
without a doubt.
you can fly on one wing.
No, that is something that the amount of people that come up to us, obviously that are listening to the podcast and they're enjoying it, means an awful lot. We love hearing that because sometimes we're kind of going, "Jeez, boys, what are we doing it right? Or are we doing it wrong?" But everyone seems to be enjoying it so far for whatever reason. I do not know, but anyway, we won't complain. We won't
Not
complain.
a word about it.
Yeah.
All is going
As the
well.
fella says, keep her lit.
Keep her lit.
Keep her lit.
Now we're back with episode 55. This is one I was trying to get up and running for a couple of weeks. This man has been very, very busy, but we nabbed him to say busy fucking, dodging fucking work anyway.
Yeah, whatever.
Eamon, tell us, the whole topic conversation we wanted to have tonight is about your trip to the Pyrenees. We kind of, I don't know, did we want to hear any more about it, Sharks? We're kind of sick of listening to it at this time.
I'm sick talking about myself,
He's
man.
getting 10 minutes to do his business and then you're off.
No, he needs a bit more than 10 minutes now, in fairness.
No,
but,
he better fill it in 10 because I'm sick listening to this.
yeah.
Well, they could do it. We went, we saw, we came home.
We
there you
went,
go.
we saw, we
Brilliant.
conquered.
Brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, see you next week.
thanks for looking up. Tell us, right? Because no, in fairness, we did get a lot of messages over the past couple of weeks because we did talk obviously about a couple of trips and stuff. Tony was on talking about his trip, and we did genuinely get a load of messages from people giving us tips, looking for advice, talking about different ways you can approach going to like the Pyrenees and the Picos and different parts of Europe. We spoke to a guy at the weekend who Ross Maguire, a cousin of mine. I have to give him a massive shout out. Not Ross McQuaid, yeah, Ross Maguire, yeah.
Ross.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
No.
Ross Maguire, all 7'3" of them. But they were telling us about a trip they went to Romania
Yeah,
and
he was
rented
telling
out
me
the
about
bikes and stuff, and that was interesting. But anyway, never mind any of that. The Pyrenees. Where did it all start? Whose idea was it? When? How long did it take you to plan the whole trip?
Well, my planning was, yeah, okay, I'll go. Here's my money. Right, let me know when the boat is leaving. It was actually organised a year beforehand, literally, when we started talking about it, and we had 1 or 2 meetings, and then we had a little WhatsApp group set up. There's only 7 of us, and one of the boys put it up a month or so after we initially talked about it to say, we're having a meeting tonight, bring your bank card. Literally, that's the way it was. And it just took the bull by the horns, and you had to commit that night to, if you're going, putting down deposit here now. So, and that was literally it. So I was half up front, I think, or whatever. It ended up, the trip was, the boat trip, obviously, €430. Return. And that's with a cabin. We also had these people that have done it before will know you can get these, it's like a seat up at the top of the boat.
Yeah.
Or like these recliner chairs that you can...
Like the club class.
Yeah, well, it's... People get them and don't get cabins. But we had them, I'm not 100% sure were they part of the package we booked. But if we did pay extra for them, it was a waste of money because we never even went into that room, you know. But I would recommend it. Some people do just find a good couch and stay on the couch, like or whatever. But no, you'd have to have a cabin. Like,
Yeah,
you know. There was 7 of us. There was what way was it? Yeah, 2, 2, and 3. It was 3 and 1. Now there were 4 bed cabin, but even there was 2 me and Tiny and my one, but you wouldn't want any more than 2 in them realistically.
Yeah,
like they're very small, and it was handy top and bottom bunks, like, you know, each side. Use your top bunk for all your gear, helmets, jackets, whatever, throw them up on top, and you're keeping in the bottom one. I'd say the boys now, there was the 3 in their room, they were probably a little bit of a tighter squeeze, but realistically, 2 to a cabin is more than enough. There's not a whole lot of room in them. But yeah, we had cabin was in that price. We had them there's a name in that area, I just can't remember. But
you can make tea and coffee and stuff like that in that area, can you?
No, well, I'm not too sure. I never even went into it, but there's 2 restaurants in it, right? Mm-hmm. There's one that everybody can go in, and then there's these ones up the top of the boat that are fancy. They don't,
first class, basically.
Yeah, literally, kind of. They don't open only at certain times. There's big glass doors. You won't get into them anyway. And we didn't realise what. Yeah, we got when we sailed out. We got a breakfast that morning on the boat. I think we left Rosslare around 10 o'clock in the morning, something like that. When we got in, getting it sailing and all, it takes an hour or more wasted there, but we eventually went, got a breakfast once we found our cabins, threw in the gear and all that crack, and the breakfast wasn't great now. We hit the bar early enough, so
that's it. Podcast 55 over. You may wait till next week for 56. Woohoo!
But then we got something to eat in that same restaurant later on that evening. It was kind of, you know, ship food wasn't overly great, but then some of the boys met people that they knew. They were in a camper and they were heading over, and we met them, of course, after we had eaten and that. And the thing we paid for allowed us to go into this other fancy restaurant that we didn't realise. It's all on your boarding pass. Your boarding pass would be the key card for your door, like, as well.
Yeah.
And but it was on that. Sure, we had booked it. It was literally a year beforehand that we kind of had forgot what you can pick. Your different choices what you could do, but you can only get into that restaurant because we said we're going to do this coming home anyway. We're going to take full advantage of that. But when we on the way home, we were an hour on the boat before they opened up the area to let you book that restaurant, and they only open it for an hour.
Okay.
You have to go down. There's lads standing there. There's a queue of people. You go down and say room whatever. 7 of us, and what time slot? There's only, like, I think it was a 6. There could have been a 5:30, a 6, kind of a 6:30 and a 7, and that's it. So you have to be kind of there for that time. But yeah, we ate and that in there on the way home, dinner, and just like you're in a different country, literally. You know.
So basically, are you saying then that the second class people get shite?
It is. It's shite. The breakfast
and
is
first class.
breakfast is class is an Irish breakfast, and they serve you English tea. The fucking sausages, I don't think they're even pork. The bacon is fucking like that paper tin little skinny shit.
Ham. Ham.
The scrambled eggs are like that water.
Mush.
Mushy shit.
Yeah.
The toast is all sitting up there, ready toasted with just an old tea towel over it. So it's like concrete when you know it just wasn't.
You want
nice.
a lump hammer to come.
So basically,
The butter fucking rock hard, tearing lumps out of the bread.
All joking aside, so you're basically telling our listeners out there, when you're going on your boat trips and all, first class, you get top.
Well, it's not that first. It's not a whole lot more to book what we did, but just that we kind of had forgot, and then we didn't realise that this is the way this thing works until we met them people. So we knew it for going home. But
And did you have to dress for dinner now, Ratner?
oh yeah, we had the tuxes with us, like, you know.
And he's saying Leonardo DiCaprio, you were there, right?
Well, like
I'd be worried if the boat was going to stay up if you see him.
No, the starters was this buffet, and you could just walk over now, and there was everything on this thing. Like it alone would have fed you, like, you know, and there was, you could keep going back to it, and there was any amount of different food, and then you had 2 or 3 choices of main course, and then 2 or 3 choices of dessert and that. But like, this was like a proper restaurant, and it's up at the front of the ship. You're looking out at the sea, the windows all around you, and all that crack. So yeah, if you're booking that way, just remember,
Pay
if
the
you
extra.
pay it, it's worth it. But if you're getting a cabin, you don't need that chair. Now, I can't remember, as I said there earlier on, did that chair come with it or not? But look, it's a long cross, and it's nice to be able to go up to the bed and lay down for an hour, kill an hour or two if you are feeling a bit tired, whatever the case may be.
How long is crossing altogether then?
It was, I thought it was actually supposed to be longer, but I think it took us just under 27 hours going over. But it was fairly rough now coming back. It was very rough coming back. So it took 29 and a half hours coming back. And back, even though, it was a couple hours longer, it felt like it was a day longer, you know. The novelty was going off everything at that stage or whatever. But, we got over there. We sailed out kind of, I think it was 12 o'clock or something like that. Again, we set off. So you're kind of, you know, you're onto the boat, you're sailing, and, you know, it's afternoon time then, say, or whatever. Sure, have something to eat, straight up to the bar, then drink away. There is music. It's very shitty music. There is all table quizzes and different things like that they do. These entertainers come every now and again.
Bingo,
but,
so bingo on.
Well, bingo. We played bingo on the way over.
Two little ducks.
Yeah.
22.
We played bingo just to kill a bit of time. But yeah, look, the bar shuts 11 o'clock on the button sort of thing, and that's it. Good luck to you. But literally, you know, about 12 o'clock or that, you're heading off to bed. You get
6 litres of duty-free vodka stashed away in the cabin.
Probably got one of the best sleeps I've ever got, because our cabin was in the very middle, so there's no actual window in the room. There's this picture on the wall that looks like it's a picture of the outside, but it's just a light, you know. I want you to turn off the lights. The room is black, and that's the way I love a room. It's just black dark.
Yeah.
And then the boat's kind of rocking a little bit, so it's kind of rocking you to sleep. And just
All you were missing was the dory.
Yeah, I just had a brilliant sleep, and one of the best sleeps I had in a long time. And you're up then the next morning, like, and you're kind of almost there, sort of thing. You know, it seemed to go pretty quick. Where coming home just seemed to fucking drag. But anyway, we got there. Sun was splitting the stones into Bilbao. It was very slow down in Rosslare to go on to the boat, and then it was very slow over there. Then there was queuing, bikes going up into the red straight away. Like, my yoke was, red light was coming on the dash, like, you know, there was temperature was up. I think once it goes over 115 degrees, that light comes on. Like, you turn the bike off, and you turn it off, you'd be starting again to move, turn it off, start, turn it off. And there was a lot of people doing the same thing. There was a lot of cars, camper vans and everything else. But then all of a sudden this lad comes down and he's looking at Regis. And once he's seen the Irish reg, over that way. If you're an English reg, to the left. And they were pulling every English, anything that was English reg, they were going through a full check. We just had to literally hold up our passport and you just got a nod and off with you out the gap. But until you go up to that point, it was very slow. And then it was the same coming home, like it was the same on there, like that side coming back as well. But out, got our bearings where we were, and then straight into, because Bilbao is a big enough city, like you're straight into like, holy fuck, you're driving down the side of the road here now. You had to have your wits about you. I never done that before, but kind of, once you're out of the cities, like you're away from the roundabouts and the crazy layouts, the junctions, driving the opposite side of the road just came natural to every one of us, like, you know. But when you come into the more built up areas, you kind of have to say, I'm going around this roundabout now, the other way around. and I have to be watching this way and that way, you know. It's kind of,
that's the hardest part. It's when you're coming to a junction. When you're coming to a junction, you're normally looking that way. You need to fucking look the opposite way, because this is where they're coming from.
One or two hairy moments with that one, Ari, but we headed off and it was roasting. It was I think it was up in the mid-30s or so when we got there, and I was like, oh Jesus.
So basically you'd fry an egg if you had an egg.
So we headed off, got our bearings and headed off. A nice bit. We hadn't got an outrageous trip. But we were a few hours riding at the same time till we got to our destination, and checked in the whole shebang, and so the food and stuff like that, found that an issue in some of the places that we were staying. Like, you know, you kind of
give us an example. What were you kind of getting?
We spent most of the 2 weeks eating burgers, you know, because look, a lot
you
of
can't go wrong with a burger.
Yeah, but it was kind of a safe bet a lot of the time. But we did find a little bit of difficulty with the language barrier and that, and then
why didn't you ring me?
Oh yeah, you get that. But,
buongiorno. We're in Spain, you can. Oh, jay.
Dos cervezas, por favor.
Tome chicken roaster.
Hola, that's all it is. Hola. But
have you got chicken supreme?
Then obviously the alcohol situation there was nothing really like home then either. But we got to that first place we're in. It used to be like, I don't know, it was like a monastery or something once upon a time. It was massive. The corridors, and this is no word of a lie, the corridors where you go up to your rooms was the width of this.
Stop.
It was meant, the doors were nearly the height of this. It was like big, old, massive staircase going up, but there was big halls then in this place, like, I don't know what they ever were for, like big seating areas, this, that, and other, weirdly laid out. But look, we drank, we found it was Heineken in that place, and we ordered some, it was literally burgers and chips, and it took them about 2 hours to get them out to us. I don't know what they were going, but they weren't expecting 7 hungry lads to come in or whatever. But anyway, look, we done that place. We go up next morning, down for breakfast. I could smell toast, and I was like, nice bit of breakfast now would be great. I could smell toast, went down, and there was a massive room with people that didn't in it all, eating and that, and no sign of any of the boys. And I ring the boys, where are you? Oh, you go down the other hall. And there's just other big, massive corridors in this place down. Boys are in the smaller room. And I would say, where's the food? Oh, up there, that top table. And I was like,
fuck off.
What the fuck? You know, it's all like ham, salami.
Continental breakfast.
I wouldn't even.
But there's continental breakfast, and then there's continental breakfast you get out there.
You get the bowls, and they're no bigger than a fucking teacup.
I know. And then there's all this weird, like, eggs floating in fucking water. And
I literally didn't see a fucking egg out there at all. Like, it was once or twice, that was about it. But no, it was all like cheeses, ham, salami, all laid out in these trays. Some of them you didn't eat what the fuck they are. They're mad into their bread, different types of bread, whatever. And that was kind of it. There was lots of fruit and kind of yogurts and shit like that there. And I was like, oh, holy fuck. I literally kind of made a ham and cheese sandwich. I toasted the bread and then kind of made a sandwich of it, and that was kind of that. But I was kind of...
That's what the mother did one year when we went to Spain, and it was the same crack, so you couldn't get a proper breakfast. So she loaded up the handbag with about a loaf of bread off the table and all the ham, and we were eating ham and cheese sandwiches all fucking day.
Yeah, fuck it. Can't go wrong with a ham and cheese sandwich,
Oh,
mate.
that was it. But like, we learned as we went along. Then we kind of just didn't bother. That was we had that place booked before we left. Like, you know, that was our first place booked, so we knew we had a place when we got there or whatever. Then it was every night we booked it on the flight in that we're heading this direction. So blah blah blah. Will we book here? Eddie, have to give Eddie her credit where credit is due. He was kind of the main organizer of the whole thing, or he was the computer man. He kind of works in that end of things. He's good at booking stuff and organising stuff and everything else. So he had a sat nav on his bike. That's what I would recommend people. Make sure if there's a group, make sure you have a couple of sat navs or whatever. Now we only had the one, but then other guys had their phones and that out. But phones can be very temperamental up there, especially when you go up into the Pyrenees. You lose coverage or whatever. Yeah. Some of them had kind of a map thing built in, but they're kind of contradicting each other then between the GPS and that. So it's definitely good to have a GPS. But Eddie he was on a couple of different groups for the months and months before we left, and he downloaded a lot of files of recommended routes to go. And I think he obviously downloaded some of the ones that were rated the best of the best, because we literally...
Oh, X-rated?
Yeah. We literally didn't have a bad road. And we were on bad roads, if you know what I mean. But the surface was like the M50, like in 98% of them. Like, you know, there was a couple areas a little bit bumpity or whatever.
Yeah. You're going to get them everywhere.
Yeah.
But this, like, you wouldn't believe how good the surface of these roads were for where we actually were, like, you know, up in the mountains. But
and why are they so? Is it to accommodate people?
Well, see, parts of it is the Tour de France.
Oh,
so
is it fun?
You're on part of the Tour de France route. No, don't. I fucking know nothing about the Tour de France, but there is a serious amount of cyclists out on it when you be out there. There is a couple of monuments and statues of lads up on bikes. There is signs up on push bikes, like, but there is
Stephen
signs.
Roach, you know them as well.
There is signs here and there that would, you know, this is part of the Tour de France. So obviously, they have to keep the surface pretty good for that reason, but some of the road surface was fucking serious. But anyway, we left that place. We headed for Lourdes then the next day. In general, most of our days were between 250, 300 kilometre mark. Mm-hmm. If you look that up, the most direct route would say you'd be there in 2.5, 3 hours, like, or whatever. It's like driving from home to Cork or something like that. You know? But obviously we never wanted to go motorways, so then you'd be putting it into the maps, like bring you twisties, like
so you might be averaging fucking 60 kilometres an hour for a period of time,
and even less sometimes. Like, you know, for the most direct route, say it was going to take 3 hours. Our days was taking us 7 and 8 hours. Now we worked.
That was with stops, or
that was with stops. So realistically, if you want to take 2 hours out of that, I suppose it was probably a 6 hour day on the bike. You know, you stop for food somewhere along the way, so you'd be probably taking an hour out there for that. Then your petrol stops, fag stops, stretch the legs, cup of coffee. You know, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. Yeah, you wouldn't be long about losing 2 hours there. So in general, it was.
5 to 6 hours on the bike.
Well, 6 hours or so on the bike. I think one of our longest days was that was my phone. One of the longest days about 300 kilometres. But in general, because you're only averaging probably 50, 60 kilometres an hour, a lot of it, because it is twisty.
Yeah.
It's severely twisty. Like you're climbing a mountain and then you're coming back down a mountain, literally. And there's hairpin turns, like just full,
one after
just
another.
Go back. The road goes back in itself.
Yeah.
You're going around. Say the lad that's gone first or whatever. Like, you know, you'd see him. Say up there for argument's sake, and you're down here, and vice versa. He'd be shouting over you, well, how are you going, or whatever, you know. But like, you know, and you're up, twist, turn, like full 90-degree bends, or even more back around top of themselves, like, you know. Now they're fairly kind of sort of bends, like the cambers are all pretty good, so you kind of, you float around them. There was, because I was thinking of like some of the, when I done the Applecross, done the NC 500 in Scotland and done the Applecross pass, there was some of them now that were, just if you didn't get around them, you were in trouble. Like, but these ones were kind of, you could get in trouble on them too if you wanted it, but they were kind of more forgiven or whatever. There was a nice camber to the road and everything else, like, you know. But in general, like, you'd be down in first, second gear, like, going around a lot of these jocks. You might blast it on then for 200 or 300 meters, 400 meters, and then you're back down again and you're around the next one, like, and you wouldn't, like, I had a lean angle sensor on the bike now that wouldn't get an opportunity really to be looking at it, but now and again you might get a quick glance at it, and you're like 35, 40 degrees, like there'll be this enough. You'd be scraping the toes easily.
We had that over here.
You're scraping the toes at a very low speed. It's not like you're on a track like or anything like that, but unbelievable, and the scenery and everything else was fucking.
For the listeners, now this is what I think. There was 7 of yous.
Yeah,
6 of yous had similar-ish kind of bikes, and one was just like, holy shit. So talk us through the bikes. What did you got?
Me and the Aprilia, obviously.
No RSV.
Yeah, 1100. I wouldn't bring that again, but I'll tell you about that again.
Yeah.
The V4 is just lovely, but that real low speed riding, it's just the way they're geared. It's fucking.
You're up and down.
Up and down. The Lord Jesus Christ, up and down the whole time. But like where I was in first, second gear, boys can be in fourth, fifth gear, and then where sometimes we were on some of the straights, boys are in sixth, and I'm only in fourth.
Yeah,
it's just the way it is. Now, some of the roads that come into his own, but for them real twisty, tight corners where you're going that low speed, it's just too low of a speed for that bike, you know, because it's that V4 as a start. And I came into one or two of them there in, second gear, and I'm like, pull on, you bastard. Go around this corner, you know. Next time I say you'll be in first for the next one, like, you know, it's just too low. No, she would pull on, but she was like, you know.
Some of them bikes, it's like we said, it's like drive Gixxers. You can't drive Gixxers handy.
That joke is not designed to ride slowly. Look, then there was other roads where it just came into his own, like it was like I wouldn't have anything else. But in general, no. Then the other Tiny had his SX1000. Paul had his brand new GSX GT. So they're hitting the ZX, very similar bikes.
Similar style of bikes, for sure, yeah.
Willie had his GS 1200 Beamer.
Again, kind of made for that kind of riding, to be fair.
Eddie had his Benelli 502. Which they look like a GS, but it's a 500cc. And I'd say that anybody who, he probably had the most fun out of the whole lot of us.
Go ahead.
She just fired that joker fucking around the place. Because there was no speed involved in this trip. There was never... The fastest we went was from home down to Rosslare. When we got onto the motorway, like we were doing one a little bit over the speed limit, 130 say or something like that. We all had the comms on, and Eddie was kind of saying, look, that's my limit there, and all boys with this shock, she's kind of revving out, but for the trip over there, it was probably nice and light, ideal. It's still a high bike. It's every bit as big looking as a GS, but it's just less than half the CC. But he had a whale of a time. And then we had the last bike. Yeah, this is the one you're on about. Yeah, Decky had his Goldwing. But by Jesus, boys, I ain't telling you.
He can ride it.
He can fucking ride that Goldwing. He scraped the pegs. He scraped the exhausts. He fucking nearly scraped the panniers off it a few times. But he was in the lap of luxury and comfort on it. No, he has that bike. He bought that yoke brand new. It's a 07, I think. He's only 22,000 miles on it, I think he told me. But he bought it brand new. But he fucking loves that. Because I said to him, if we're ever to go again, would you bring the Goldwing again? well, fucking right, what is this? But he can fucking ride, and Decky's not tall, like,
no,
but he can fucking ride. No, there was a couple of other Goldwings on the boat, like there were people, but they probably weren't bringing them the roads we were going on,
no.
But no, he fucking loved it, and I tell you, it was a handy yoke to have because there's so much luggage storage in that yoke. He had the chain lube, so every now and again, Decky, we want to lube the chains. For fuck's sake, you'd have to open up the boat. He had a big chain and lock that we used to lock a few yokes together with, and he had, he had a shitload of stuff I did in this, because there's so many different compartments in it.
Tire machine.
Yeah, the whole lot. But
the blow up sheep.
He got on well with it now, in fairness. No, I said it on one night, to say, just credit where credit's due, you were fucking some man, and fucking that yoke, the way he can fire around the place, like, but no, he enjoyed it. But that was the run of the bikes. They were all,
fair match, fair fucking, as I say, the first 6 of them, you could say. Well, I mean, the Goldwing, again, they're designed for touring too, but not for ideally for that. Not for them. No.
But then over there, you see, you could be on main roads all day long if you want, but that's not part of it, like, But
no, I know what you mean.
You would see an absolute shitload of GSs and that type of a thing over there.
Yeah.
But there was a bit of everything. But like when we start meeting bikes,
how did Tiny find the SX?
Yeah, look, he has it a few years. He has it a few years now. Yeah,
No, but like, I mean, did he say it was good on the trip, or was it uncomfortable?
No, he was. Oh, I forgot Joe was on his XR as well.
I was thinking we were missing one. Yeah,
forgetting about Joe. He did XR. But no, Tiny got on well with it, and he's happy with it. He said he would maybe consider a Versi or something like that down the line, but he's that much money spent on that bike in the last, preparing for this trip with new tyres and brakes.
No, we're talking about the same fella. You mean tell me he spent money on the bike?
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, good man, thank
but no, he got on very well with it. No, I actually rode it over there.
Did you? Well, how did you find it?
You didn't like it. No.
Didn't like it.
Didn't like it.
Didn't like it. I didn't. Oh, that was a fucking disaster that day. They're all mad to get a rip on my yoke.
Yeah.
Because parts of it now, you're going through tunnels through the mountains.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And they're fucking savage. You see this tunnel coming up and you'll be delighted. And you just give that yoke a blip. And because we had all the comms on, you can hear everything through them, but you could hear that yoke a mile away. And now it does sound savage.
Yeah.
Especially you quick shift up and back down when you're going through these, and there's a fair whack over. They're all mad for it. Well, not all. Tiny and Willie were mad for going it. So one of the days, and I've been talking about getting a spin in Tiny's SX for a long, long time. So then one day we stopped at the petrol station. He says, "You want to bring that chuck? I'll bring the chuck yours, But I says, right, so I go up in it then, and he was going on ahead. I was last or second last, and I was last. And I was like, oh my God. Because they're kind of clip-ons in them. It's not a straight bar.
No.
And I'm so used to straight bars. They're clipped in. No, they are like a straight bar, but they're not like a clipping.
Yeah, they're not tight, but they are essentially coming back at an angle.
They come in at an angle, and I'm like, oh, fuck, this doesn't feel fucking right. Then the bike felt so light. I mean, like, felt like it was nearly lifting up on the front, if you know what I mean. It just felt like it was dancing, and I'm like, then he was complaining, he was in the comments, this yoke is fucking horror heavy on the fucking front of this yoke, shocking heavy. But I don't know whether it was my steering damper or whatever, but I just thought it was so light, and I just felt so weird on it. It's like everything was getting used to it. But then all my bikes for the last few years have, and even the three I have there now at the minute, they're all straight bars. Like, it's a while since I rode a bike like that, and it felt so weird. And then he did say, like, he was feeling like when he's in 6th gear, it felt like it needed another gear.
Yeah.
Kind of felt like revving out a little bit, or highly revved in 6th gear. And I felt the same. Only that you could see it on the screen that you're in 6th gear. you'd be looking for another gear. Like, it just felt like it ran
sort of like
high.
the Bandit 1200s.
Yeah, but there's a lot. I think there's a lot of bikes like that. I find the jigs are like that too. Like you'll be in sixth gear, well up in the revs, and you think sometimes, because I don't have an indicator, and you go, "Fuck, am I actually in sixth gear?"
Yeah, you would feel. I've often felt that way on bikes before that wouldn't have a gear change indicator on them or whatever. But no, even though this had one, and I felt I was kind of starting to get a little bit used to it. And this hot day, we're a few days in. It was hot. A hot fucking day, and no, I never brought any lining in my jacket, and there would be no need for lining, in my opinion. The other boys had them, but they had them taken out. I was trying to keep down a bit in weight, as I told you before in the podcast, that a mate of mine that goes over there every year, he recommended not to. And
bringing less and less gear every year.
Yeah, and bring a jumper. Like, if you really got caught out, you'll need a jumper over there anyway, definitely. In the evening times it gets very cold, so I would definitely bring a jumper or a hoodie or something like that. So even if you had that, you could throw it on and under jacket. But this day was a hot day, and when you're moving on the bike, it's not too bad, but it was particularly hot this day. So all the zips open on the jacket to let the air vent zips and that, and I had my jacket open on the front. No, not wide open, but I had the zip maybe halfway down, and I kind of had the Velcro kind of tucked in a little bit, so to let air in, and not only a t-shirt on. And I did notice as I was riding along in Tiny's SX that I got a pop and a bang every now and again, a fly or something hitting me in the visor, but it was kind of, even though I have literally no screen on my Aprilia, I never really had that problem. But I think it was the fact that where his windshield comes up so high, and I was probably maybe in the range of my visor or whatever, things seem to be deflecting off it.
Oh, okay.
And then next couple of times, and next one, we were going through a little village, and there was this white truck, Toyota Hilux pickup coming out of the junction, and I just happened to notice, because some of them, they come up to the junctions pretty hard on a side road, and you're like, that comes going to stop, So you always did literally come right out to the edge. Like, you'd be always watching yokes at the junction. And I just happened to notice that, lad, and thought no more off and went by. And then as we're going down next minute, I don't know what it was. It came up over the windshield and right into my neck and down into my jacket and stung the absolute shit out of me. And I started going, oh, fuck. And I mean, it fucking stung me. It got me all down the neck, down here, and down on my side down there. Went down under my t-shirt. So my recommendation, don't ride around with your fucking jacket open. After that, nobody did. But I was like, boys, quick, stop. We have to stop. Something's stinging me. And I just did it sting me. It was like a massive, like a big beetle or something. It was a huge lump of fucking thing. I'd say one of the blisters I had was, I'd say one of the blisters was actually where the horse hit me. He hit me some wallet. But at the same time, I was going, oh, fuck, I was trying to pull and trying to ride Tiny's bike at the same time and everything else. Yeah. And as I pulled, we got in a kind of a little pull-in spot off. We're on a mainish enough road at that time. We were doing a little bit of speed. Like, we're working right up in the Pyrenees. And this white Hilux like was behind us. And then he pulled in. And he pulled right up beside me and onto the grass right up beside me, and he started kind of reading the riot act out to me. But he was some sort of I don't know what he was. Like, he wasn't police, but he had a uniform on, and I was like,
he was one of them gobshites.
I don't know. I don't know what he was, but didn't Tiny had his tax disc on his number plate covering part of the numbers on the number plate.
Wouldn't be the only lad now to have
that. Your man went fucking mad.
Oh, Jesus.
And then I was like, oh shit, this is not even my bike. If he looks for insurance here now, we all had insurance and stuff with us. Like, if he looks for mine, it doesn't match the reg of this shock. And he was like, this is no. Like, he wasn't speaking any English really at all. He got out the phone and he took photograph and
fuck off.
And I'm like here, oh, fuck, this shock was still in my t-shirt fucking stinging me. And I was kind of doing a little bit of a high reel at the side of the road, trying to hopefully be nice to this lad at the same time in case he was going to try to do us. But look, he Oasis just say sorry about that. To say it must have slid. I was talking away English to him. I don't think he fucking knew what I was saying.
Yeah.
So I moved it up.
Yeah.
And then he went, no. And he moved it because when I moved it up too much, it was covering part of the IRL then.
Oh,
so then he wanted to back down. So we had to, he went on with himself then. There was never another thing about it anyway. And we had to get out a couple of spanners and tighten her up then to make sure she was never going to move again. But at that point, we said, this is a sign for me to be on my own bike and Tiny get back on your bike. I was after getting stung and fucking
lifted by the guards.
Yeah, and I just said, oh, better off.
And did you see what the bug was?
Yeah, like a big massive beetle.
And tell me, did you squash the cunt?
He was well, don't worry. He was well dead, the dirty bastard.
He must have had a fair set of jaws to get through the skin of that fella.
Oh, just I tell you. I was so lucky enough, Eddie, fair play to him, to the rescue again. He had some sort of a cream of an antihistamine, sort of a cream or something like that. And I kept that on it for a few days. And look, it eventually, it turned itchy and then it fucked off. But after a few days, but it was sore for a few hours.
Always pays to bring the doctor with you.
Oh, look, Sudocreme.
Fixes everything.
This stuff done the trick for me. But anyway, yeah, look, we headed on. We were in Lowards and we were... Oh, look, some of the names I can't even pronounce. I'm not even going to try. I have some of them there on my phone. I'm not even going to try to pronounce them because they're just, for me, they're unpronounceable. But yeah, our hotels, we booked, say, tonight for tomorrow night. And that's kind of the way we went. We'll go here, we'll pick a route. And yeah, as I said, Eddie had a lot of files downloaded and stuff like that. But sometimes we did pick slightly different or whatever. Some of them, we were on one or two roads that were never recommended in any of the groups we're on, and they were serious. Like savage, just savage roads. I'll have to find out the name of the place we stayed after on the third night after Lowards. From Lowards to this place was just one of the best roads I'd say I was ever on in my life. It was just unbelievable. But yeah, the scenery is something else. My words, photographs or videos wouldn't do any of it any justice. You just had to be there. There was that much to take in that if you stopped every time you seen something beautiful, you'd still be over there, you know. The lot of places there was nowhere to pull in. It'd be pretty dangerous, like, you know, parts of it very, very narrow. So you just wouldn't get to pull in. It'd be just too dodgy, or there could be a serious bad camber on the road, like the fucking bike probably fall over or something anyway. But there was then you'd have these viewing points every now and again, so there was nice spots to pull in as well. In general, there was probably a lot of other people pulled in there too, but yeah, a lot of bikes on the road straight off, like we were meeting bikes, and straight away this is the wave over there is like a peace sign, 2 fingers out, but it's easy to do because it's your clutch hand, like you don't have to take your hand off the throttle because you're on the opposite side of the road, so you could ride the bike for 4 or 5 miles with just your 2 fingers out like that to be meeting that. After a while, you just say, I'm fucking not waving any more bikes. I'm fed up waving the bikes, you know. But everybody, you know, they're, you know, same as here, bikers wave to each other over there. But it seemed to be a lot more over there. But now, a lot of them are probably tourists as well. They're probably weren't know Spanish either. But yeah, a lot of cyclists got stuck behind a few, and you'd say to yourself, why are the Meagans putting themselves through such torture trying to get up these mountains? You know? But then we came behind 2 one day.
Were you overtaken, Biani?
Almost. I'm telling you, we came behind 2 one day and we could not pass them.
Oh, God.
And they were doing 60 odd kilometres an hour going back down this hill.
Jesus.
There was nowhere safely to pass them, if you know what I mean. But I'd say if we did pass them, they probably would have passed us again. You know? So that's their thrill, but like, lunatics. Fucking tire like barely a half an inch wide. It's these little skinny things, and you're like, holy fuck, if something happens there. Now there's a lot of it there. There is a crash barrier that wouldn't even come close to a crash barrier that you'd see here. Some of it's just made of rotten timber. Some of it doesn't have crash barrier at all. You just look down and you say, if you go here, you're fucking gone.
Jesus Christ.
It's serious. Like, but say, it'd have to be something, you'd have to be going either too hard or meeting somebody that was on the wrong side of the road to really have a problem like that. Like, you know, you had the room. Yeah, there's some of it hairy and close, but yeah, I highly recommend if you're going in a group, get them comms. we would have been lost without.
I was going to ask you how,
the
because you never had them before.
no, and they really, it was the best money I've ever spent on anything. Like, you know, that just really, they helped so much because now obviously whoever was leading the way was taking all the risk a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And
Now, you fucking hear that? Me. I'm always the fucking one leading everything.
well, you're probably in the fucking roads around here that you know anyway. But like these are roads we've never been on in our life. We didn't know what was coming up. So
There's no point in having a dog and barking yourself. Let me tell you,
I'll
bud.
let you lead from now on.
So
You
yeah,
needn't
whoever was out
Roscoe can
front
do it.
was generally would say, serious hairpin coming up here now, very hard right or whatever, blah blah. Or this is a really really sharp one. There's nothing coming, cut it wide if you want, or then be careful, my boys. There's camper van coming. This, you know, there was a lot of pre-warnings and all that. Then if there was, you have signs everywhere for cattle on the road, deer. Every now and again, there was a deer sign nearly every 3 or 4 kilometres.
Go on.
I never ever seen one deer, but I'd seen a lot of cattle, but only maybe 3 on the road. But a serious amount of cow shite on the road, so they do be on the road a lot. But the amount of cow shite we seen on the road were like, how are we missing all these? But we did come across 2 or 3 on the road on a few occasions. But lad, pre-warn you, serious fucking cow shite up here ahead, or a bad bump around the next corner, or very narrow bridge and whatever, blah. So they're very good that way. And just in general, they're great for the crack. We had some serious slagging and fucking banter along the way with them as well. And there's 1.2 kilometres range in them or something like that. And
good job.
Good range. Now, if you go into a built-up area and you got a little bit separated, you'd start to lose a little bit. But
but ours does the same.
Ours does the same. Yeah. Had you any bother with sinking them or anything?
No, we literally got them all synced that morning that we left, and then every time we just bring them. Well, you'd be bringing them in your helmet every night anyway. Just stick it in charge every night. It was one day my battery nearly went, and then literally every other day after that, you were between 50 and 25% battery remaining. Like, you know, I tell you when you go turn it off, it tells you that.
Yeah.
But just charged in every night, turn them on next morning, and it'll tell you we have 5 riders connected, 6 riders connected. You know, it's Corners lads that turn them on.
They're a better job.
Oh no, they're serious. I never had to resync them or pair them or that. Never. The only one issue, they're Cardo Neos. Now they're 300 and odd euro, depending on where you look. The high 200s to 300 and odd to, I've seen 1 or 2 in the high 300s. But you can buy them in sets of 2. Obviously, we had 3 sets of 2 and then 1 single one. We got it off that Lewis.ie, and the whole lot came to, I think, around 15 or 1600 euro, but we just split it down the middle, evenly across the board with everybody, and it worked out at 230 euro, I think, each. So you can't buy them that cheap. Like, you can't.
No, for sure.
Even if you were buying it singly, it's going to cost you more than that. So look, it worked out grand that way. Obviously, buying in pairs are a bit cheaper. Yeah. But the only one issue we used to have every now and then, there's a built-in radio in them.
Okay.
And it happened once to me. This radio would come on, but it was like, I don't know, fucking Spanish radio station or whatever. It's obviously picking up some station over there or something like that, and it was a little bit of a hassle to get it off. There's 3 buttons on this scroller yoke, and I just kind of was fiddling, playing at it, and I got it to go off.
You're not supposed to be playing
I had to
You're
push
not supposed to be playing that.
Yeah, we're not all like you, Charlie. I had to push the button twice, but every now and again, some of the guys, you could talk to it as well and say Cardo radio off. So every now and again, we could be riding along, you'd hear one of the boys, Cardo radio off, and some lads were pronouncing it wrong, cardio and cardo and cardi this and cardi that, and the lads be giving out, you're not saying it right. The lads would be starting to get a little bit ticked in, cardo radio off. This, you know, but that happened on a few occasions. But other than that, they were flawless. Like, I took a phone call from a next door neighbour of mine one day, and where are you now at the moment? And they didn't know I was gone, like, or whatever. And I says, say, I'm over in the Pyrenees here. Says, all right, you must be, he's pulled in at the moment. Say, no, I says, I am currently doing whatever, 60, 70 kilometres an hour here on the bike, say, up in the mountain. No, you're not. You couldn't be, like, and it's crystal clear, like, very good that way, like, whatever. But no, one of the best things,
100%.
You definitely highly recommend them.
They're safe, like, you know what I mean, to make things. And now, in fairness, most of our conversations go like, it's either us telling Kieran to turn his fucking indicator.
Oh, we had that the whole time. That was great.
Turn
your fucking indicator.
Or it's Ross going, oh wait, hold on, I don't think I clipped in my helmet, or I didn't button up my fucking ear, or something, or I left my sunglasses behind me, or it's Cha going, how long more are we going for? I've only a half tank of juice left.
Freaking out.
Freaking out. That's usually.
Give me a cigarette.
A cigarette. Yeah, loving those cigarettes.
Where are we stopping tonight, lads?
Yeah. Honest to fuck, yeah. So how long were you gone for all in all?
What was it? 2 weeks, including the sailing. I think we were there something like 9 days there in total or something like that.
Yeah.
But look, I could go into it, we could talk about it all night. I'm sure you're all sick of it.
Yeah, you're right.
But
We're sick of it. Fucking sick of it.
That's we fucking are, aren't you?
Definitely, as Billy told me, don't pack too much. I tried not to pack too much and I still had too much.
Yeah.
I was discarding stuff along the way that
The jocks and socks.
Jocks and socks were getting the bin every night in the hotels or whatever. And then I kind of got to a point where I was like, I could run out of these now. And so we actually done a 2-night stopover in Jekka one night. And just said we give ourselves a rest or whatever else. So I end up, a few of us done the same thing. Went to a laundrette there we got there the first evening and obviously checked in, headed down to town and got something to eat and a few drinks, but then the second day, we'd plenty of time on our hands then to be looking around. We kind of knew the town like the back of our hands at that point, but found a laundrette and washed a few clothes. So if I had known that I was going to get to do that, thing I never really thought of, but it definitely would have brought a hard lot less clothes.
Yeah.
I brought a lot of stuff in the back box on the bike, and a lot of it I didn't use, but at the same time, if the worst came to the worst, I might. And I had like a compressor, a jump starter thing.
Yeah.
I had a few bits of spanners and yokes. I had I had a spare visor for the helmet that I didn't need. I had a few. Brought a pair of like flip flop yokes just to fire on the evens that I never ever used them at all.
No.
Few other bits and pieces in it that I didn't really need. But at the same time, there could have come a time that I probably did. Look, the wet gear, I bought one of them up in Bike World, just a rain jacket that just goes straight over your jacket, folds up into it. It folds up into itself. Yeah. And it folds up real nice and tidy. I bought one of them and we used it. I put that on once and I brought wet gear trousers. I would work, big aluminum yellow ones. I wore them once, but they were a good set. Now, I didn't realise they were as good as they were, but wore them once. But I would recommend, as I said there a while ago, bring a jumper or something, definitely. In the evenings, like, we're getting back to hotels, 6 o'clock in the evening, go in and get a shower or whatever else, waiting for everybody to be ready. Might have a few pints in the bar while everybody's getting ready and everybody's down, and then head downtown. The sun's after been splitting the stones all day. You're delighted to get the gear off and get a shower. You might head out, pair of shorts on you, whatever, and T-shirt. It's come around 7, 8 o'clock. She starts getting cool over there. Like, probably the fact you've been so warm all day, and then all of a sudden, it's not freezing, but there was nights there. Like our first few days was extremely hot, and then the weather kind of settled to a nice, still warm 28 and that, but just bearable, like, But bring bring a jumper or something like that. But yeah, I suppose you don't have to overdo it in the luggage or anything else. But
one pair of jocks, turn them inside out about 5 times.
We're in front and back.
Yeah, exactly. If anybody finds a shitty pair of Primark white fronts along the Pyrenees, send them to Eamonn Gillian.
No, I never wore fucking white jocks in my life. But no, I would recommend people, get the. What's that? A motorbike?
Motorbike. Some lad out motorbiking Blackguard around the road.
One road over there.
Yeah.
But make sure your bike is in top condition. Like, check everything before you leave and make sure it's good. Like, between brakes, tires, everything else. Don't say, look. Yes, that lad is eating road.
That is.
He's fucking shifting.
I can hear him through the.
So same as that.
I can hear him through the.
Through the headphones. Yeah.
The baffles out with that joke.
Some lads eating tar out the road. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody listen. It's none of Clondegale, by the way.
No, we're all sitting here.
Yeah.
We're not all sitting here.
Where's Kieran?
No, it's not Kieran anyway.
Give us that again, Ross.
Yeah.
But make sure, because you will. Like, I've nearly never brake pad left in the Aprilia. Now, I probably realistically should have changed my brake pads before I left, but there was a nice bit of meat on them.
Yeah.
There's very little left on them now. Make sure you have good tyres, because by just your tyres will be put to the test between the heat and just the roads and everything else. You'll have no chicken strips over there. It's impossible. If you have chicken strips over there, you must have been pushing the bike around. It's impossible not to use the full tyre, in general, just make sure your bike is, because we done 2,500 kilometres. Like, you don't, tyres in general, a lot of these sporty tyres are only good for 5,000 or 6,000, if even that.
How long did it take you to do 2,500 kilometres?
I don't know, whatever. Well, that's from leaving home to back, though.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, me and Brendan and Ross often done it at the weekend. For Jesus' sake.
He must have been another dream he was having.
No, we flew to New York that weekend.
Yeah, right, we did.
Oh, folks. Yeah,
look, it's another thing we done, Revolut. With a Revolut, with a Pyrenees account on it.
Yeah.
So when we went in, whether it was the hotel or a restaurant that night or whatever, one lad just went up and paid for everything, and then went to the Revolut or into the Pyrenees part of it and just split the bill. So like, it was Eamonn Gillian's after paying so much, and then he just split the bill evenly between everybody, and then it settled up, and it was so fucking handy. Now, literally use Revolut the whole time we were there. I had cash, so most of us probably had cash as well. I had a bit of cash. I used a little bit of cash every now and again. Some places had a minimum spend or whatever, but in general, you were buying more than the minimum spend anyway. But fucking, that was so handy. So it didn't matter who ate what or whatever. It was split down the middle. It's as cheap as chips over there. Our accommodation every night was anywhere between 30, 50. I think maybe the max one night was like €55. They weren't shitholes. They weren't 5-star no either, but they were fucking top.
A bed for the night.
Yeah.
No, but they were fucking all right. No, there was nothing wrong in any of these places. Some of them from the outside, you might say, yes, this doesn't look great. And just go inside and it's grand looking.
Fine,
there's not a thing wrong with it. We generally didn't bother our hall with the breakfast anymore. An odd place, we might just get a bit of tea and toast or something like that. But we say we'd head on, try to leave every morning somewhere between 9 and 10 o'clock most morning. 10 o'clock be the latest leaving any place. Head on, and maybe at 12, 1, 2 o'clock probably pull in somewhere and get something decent to eat, because a lot of the places when you get in there that evening, 6-ish or whatever time you might be getting in a lot of places didn't open till 7. They don't start serving food till 7. And you see all these restaurants and fucking not a thing to be seen. Nothing opens till 7. Then come 10:30, 11 o'clock, gone.
Gone, finished,
everything,
home.
Everything just closed up. There's nothing open nearly. You wouldn't get drink or anything like that after 11 o'clock. Look,
go away.
You wouldn't really want it either, that kind of way. You're fucking...
Full and tired
you're after... we'd be drinking bottles. It was all lagers, like, you know, Mahou. I'm not a lager drinker now, but fucking that Mahou was nice. I thought it was nice. Their pints over there are literally 3/4 of a pint here, like, you know. But it was generally we kind of stuck to bottles and stuff like that. Look, you'd have a few bottles and you'd be fuck off the bed sort of thing or whatever.
Be happy enough, like,
yeah, you would be. You'd be getting up again next morning or whatever the case may be. But yeah, look, it was cheap as in accommodation wise. Grub, one night we ate out in a pretty nice restaurant now, in fairness. They're all pretty good. We use Google Translate a lot. Like, if you go into the big cities, you might get an English menu, or you'd have the English written under the Spanish or whatever. So if you were further out in the sticks, you would have to use Google Translate to see exactly what was on it, and you kind of, it wouldn't translate it word for word. It might say that's chicken or that's beef or steak or whatever. You kind of work it out from there. Then we got a surprise once or twice now. It's like, I think that Google Translate's not working too good. We got a couple of shocks on one or two occasions when we're out in the real sticks part of it, like, you know, these very small little towns, and they're really bringing out their own type food, the way they cook it, and it's like, holy fuck, what the fuck's in this plate? But anyway, that only happened once or twice, lucky enough. But generally, you kind of stuck to burger. But one night we're in a fancy enough place, not fancy, but a fine bit of a restaurant, and
Burger King.
We had we had all 3 course each, and every bit of it was beautiful, and we had 2 pints each, so there was 14 pints and 7 of everything else then as well. I think it came to, when we split the bill on the Revolut, it came to something like €35 a head.
Okay.
And this was like, there was nothing fucking wrong with this food. It was the best of the best, like, you know.
Yeah, see, there you go. There you go, man. Do you know what I mean?
And like, as I said, the accommodation was generally between 30 and 50. Say average, you know, 40 a night.
40 a night,
something like that, like, you know.
See, it can be done. It's not that expensive when you buy it down that way, like, you know. And the ferry as well is not expensive.
Petrol. My Aprilia pass everything bar a petrol station. I was everybody. The question was every day, how are you for petrol, Eamon? How are you for petrol? And there's only a light on them yokes, so there's no gauge. So I was going by the mileage every day. Some days it was like, oh fuck, I didn't reset the clock that when I figured out what was on it before that. So I kind of got used to it. So when I get to around 200 kilometers, I'd say I want to be getting some shorty. So we kind of just made it a rule at home. Everybody filled at the same time. I was probably on average €6-7 a day more than everybody else on fuel. When everybody else was topping up and they're only fitting in maybe €8, €9, €10, I was always getting in like 13, 14, 15, sometimes €16, like, you know. But that's just the type of bike it was. Look, it didn't cost me an absolute fortune at the end of the day. Look, that was the bike I brought and that was it. But in general, it wasn't too bad. I think in total, the whole trip, including the ferry and the whole lot over, and in our accommodation every night, everybody kind of spent the same. As I said, we were splitting up in that Revolut. I think I was somewhere around 2.2 or 2.3 for everything. That's my petrol. That's my petrol, accommodation, my food, my boat.
That's good going, like, in fairness. You know what I mean?
You know, for 2 weeks.
For 2 fucking weeks.
Now, I wouldn't call it a holiday. Like, everybody say, how was your holiday? I wouldn't call it a holiday. I call it an adventure.
Absolutely.
It was an adventure. Like, you know, you were like, we done that 2 days, and like, as you know, I have the bad old legs and the hip and everything else. I got on well. Like, we're all, as somebody say, you want to stop? What does anybody want to stop? And somebody else had always said, oh yeah, I think we'll stop. Yeah, stretch the leg. Yeah. I actually never had to say it. Look, you stood in the pegs, you let this leg out and you let that leg out, and you shook your legs or whatever else. That's in general that happens. Look, sure, it's entirely up to yourself. You're not on any time schedule. Only schedule your hours to get back to the boat. Simple as that. And sure, we had 9 days or whatever to get back to the boat. We went as far as Andorra. stayed there, and kind of from that we went the far side of Andorra, but we were still in Andorra. That's all tax free out there because that's a
principality or something.
Yeah, or a state of its own or something like a country of its own in Spain. There is a proper technical name for it, but that everything is as cheap as fuck. Petrol in general was 140, 150, 160, depending a litre. When you get into Andorra, it was down like 115, 120. Ferraris, Lamborghinis, yachts going up and down the road.
Is Andorra in the Basque? No.
It's off over across the Pyrenees to the far. It's well over like to the east side of Spain, like or whatever, but not the whole way over either. But like, for example, the place we stayed in is a ski resort.
Okay.
You see, like, it's mad when you're going up in the Pyrenees. You see these ski lifts here and ski lifts there, and you're like, holy fuck, the sun is splitting the stones, green grass everywhere, and the heat. And it's hard to believe in a few months' time the whole place is going to be under 3 or 4 foot of snow, like, you know. The place we were in Andorra is an actual ski resort because one of the boys had been there on a school trip before. So, are you Googling that now?
No.
Yeah.
But there was a motorcycle shop where we stayed.
Yeah.
But it was motorcycle gear shop. There was no bikes in it. But of course, I had to go in there straight away that evening before we got hunting to eat. But Eddie was after buying the Shoei, I can't think of the proper name, the modular helmet. Same as yours.
Mine's not modular, no.
Yeah, did a flip up Shoei anyway. He bought it here before he left. It was 800 quid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 780, I think. Your man left it home for a say. He got it down in Egan's in
Ballymahan. Oh yeah,
and, your man left it home for 780. The exact same helmet, identical same in this shop, was 500.
Jesus.
Now the new model is after coming out here now, which is exactly the same helmets. They're just new colours for the next season.
Yeah.
And they had them there. Now they're probably 850 or more here. I'm not too sure what they are.
Yeah.
€565 in that shop. Decky bought one.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah, but he had the gold wing. He had the spare seat
Oh,
to bring his old one. I would have bought one myself only for I didn't want to leave me. No way of bringing my own back. My own was too good to leave behind, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was other stuff there that you kind of looked at and you kind of said, I don't know if that's much cheaper than that.
Yeah.
There was there was helmets there that I've never heard hell of to make them in my life, but fucking fabulous looking helmets. Some nice gear, jackets, clothes, but I was just like, you know the way you get like a kid in a tie shop?
Yeah.
Oh,
I just kind of
Lord.
said, and then kind of walked around and kind of I said, getting out of here now because there's just, and the best excuse of all, I had no room in the bike to bring out anyway, so I was kind of, but yeah, you walk by, there's these massive bottles of whiskey in the shop windows, like fucking, they're like a 5 litre bottle, they're just huge.
Massive. Yeah.
Huge yucks. €52.
Jesus.
Fuck, like you barely get a litre bottle here for that. Like,
No.
Like that. Then the next day was a Sunday we got there. So it was kind of the end of the first week because we got over there or we sailed out on a Wednesday, we got over there on a Thursday or whatever. The next day was a national holiday, like a bank holiday. The whole place was just, your one even told us, leave your key in the letterbox. There wasn't even going to be anybody in the hotel the next morning. Honest God, yeah, because they were walking around with crates of beer all that evening when we got there. People walking around with crates of beer and going this way. And lad was telling us in the pub then after, we went in for a few beers, and he says, it's national holiday here tomorrow. Everything will be closed. That's why you see all people today. He says with beer,
loading up.
Just loading up for. There'll be absolutely no pubs, no nothing will be open. Like, no. But then we go up there the next morning, and the fog. I mean, you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. It was unreal. You're in a kind of a huge valley.
Yeah.
The fog. We were like, holy shit! And we had to put on wet gear. It was that wet in the fog. You couldn't see a thing. Rode on for about 2 hours. It started drizzling in the middle of it as well. And then that lifted, burnt off. That was the only time we've ever had to put on wet gear. But it was bad. It was brutal. And a car could just arrive over anywhere. Jesus. You're on them twisty roads as well. There was camper vans. There was a few yokes in the ditch now. We've seen a few yokes crashed.
Fuck, yeah.
But then Tiny was with us. He had, I think we were just, something was on our side. Maybe it was the fact that we stopped in lowers on the second day, because we just had phenomenal weather and everything just, thank God, just went the right way. Tiny had people he knew over there the week before us.
Yeah.
In Andorra, I think there were as well. Like it was a week, or wasn't? I don't think it was fuck all more than a week. I think it said it was a week. On bikes.
Yeah.
And they cut their trip short by a week. It was that wet.
Go
Fuck.
When we were in Lowers, we went down into Lower. Now I wouldn't be religious or anything else, but we went down all around that there was crowds and crowds of people there. You're going to get all them bats and all that crack. I was talking to an Irish lad there that's like these volunteers that go over and help out for a week or whatever, and he says this time last year, he says there's a river that runs through it. Lovely, it's beautiful looking place and all that crack. This time last year, he says this whole area was closed. He says because I suppose when you think about it, you're in the mountains, and now Lower's on the French side. The water obviously comes down off the mountains, fills up the rivers. The river overflowed, flooded Lower's.
Jesus.
All where the bats are. He says this time last year, this whole place was closed. The day we were there, the Lord Jesus, I thought it was going to melt.
Go away.
You know,
so
it's just the look of the draw. But we just hit it at a really, really right time. Like, you know, we've done a little bit on the French side, but we mainly stayed on the Spanish side. We found the roads on the French side wasn't as good a quality. The towns are a little bit more kind of sleepy, kind of nearly derelict looking, some of them, like, you know, a lot of places closed. But then we had that in the Spanish side too, and then we discovered after that, see, a lot of them, as I said, are ski resorts, so they only really open up for the skiing.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
you'll be riding along and you say, oh, there's a town coming up here now, one coming up in the maps or whatever, or you see a sign, you're coming into a town or whatever, and say, we'll get a cup of coffee or something here, or we'll get something to eat here, and you ride into it, nothing. Not even a thing open. You're like, what in the fuck is going on here? Then also, a lot of them were having their siestas.
Yeah.
And they're kind of closed from, I don't know what time it is, 2 o'clock to 4 or 5. I don't know how long to do it for. But there was a lot of that as well. So you kind of have to be watching and be careful with the petrol. Look, we've never ran out of petrol, or never really came close to running out of petrol. But you could if you were chancing your arms, say, look, I'll be all right for another while. You're better off if you see a petrol station, and if you have a half tank, like Charlie here, fill up the fuck, like, because
he'd have a seizure.
You would. You'd
have a canary.
He would, 100%.
No, we
these fucking bastards all asleep and I know petrol.
But you'd have to be a little bit careful of that, because
I'd bring a ball cutter with me.
You can go off the beaten track, like, if you want, like, you know, big time. Like, we turned down the road one day. Tiny was using his phone. We turned down this road and we went probably 50 meters down the road, and we're like, this ain't built for our bikes. It was just turned into a gravel track, and it just ended up getting worse and worse. But the phone was bringing us that way, but like, it was bypassing something else to bring you that way. But be more for them enduro riders or something like that. There is routes for that. We came across one of them. There's a big enduro. I think I sent you the videos one there. The boys going up in the podium and getting their medals and all that. That was, you want to see the bikes. Was there that day? These boys, and that town was a lovely town we stayed in. Really scenic sort of a place, and these bikes were everywhere, but they were black with muck, they dirt to them, and like, where are these bikes going? But this is, then we went down, we went for a bit of a walk downtown that night, and there was this big massive park of an area, and there was lines and lines of bikes and vans, like proper kitted out vans, like that you'd see with a race team or whatever. So they take it very serious. No, we stood in this place for a half an hour watching these lads going up on the podiums getting their medal. Some of them would be just destroyed, like they're after been out in the bog for the day, and then other ones are coming in to be immaculate. But it's remember Eric Dalton, the thing he was on when he was on the podcast, it was one of them type things, because they'd have these yokes up in their handlebar with these navigation thing, not a sat nav, but I don't know, they were like a card. Didn't look like they were electronic. I don't know what way this thing worked. You see a lot of the bikes with it. Every breed of it. Lads with tents and big, you know, the big rolls. Roll, like, I don't know, some sort of a tent or something else. A lad got up on the bike one day. Like the whole bike was just covered with these big rolls of yokes, and they must for camping or whatever. I don't know what he had, and massive big roll of yoke, but that width, like one in the tank, one in the back, and I'm like, he pulled out from in front of I was outside smoking outside the hotel restaurant. Where he going to do? Next minute, I don't know how he done it. He wasn't overly tall, and it was a fairly tall adventure type bike. And he hopped up and he sat up in the whole lot of the yokes on the bike.
Go ahead.
On and off him down the road. And I was like, how the fuck did he even do that? Like, you know, I would have needed a 2-stage ladder to go up the fucking thing.
But, cranes, huh?
No, and it's we done a bit of inquiring after. It's some sort of an annual thing that's ran over there every year, and yeah, it'll bring you off the beaten track big time, that joke as well. So there is all these different type of roads, but look.
You go back.
100% go back, obviously try and do different roads, but sure, we've done that much fantastic type roads that you could do them all again and feel like you were never on it. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much to take in. But
that's the difference in some trips. Like, there's some trips you do when you do it once and you go, grand. And there's other ones you go, geez, I could do that 20 times. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, you definitely could do that, easily do that again now. Then you could do that whole thing again and you could never hit the
same
road,
roads again.
You know, there's so much.
The
chase is endless, you know.
Yeah.
Probably will go. We were talking about going again, but maybe go to the Picos down to Portugal way or whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We'll play up here. Now, we met a crew on the boat on the way home. They were local. They were actually some of them were at the run there the weekend. They booked their trip for next year on the way home on the boat.
No way.
But they have used overlanders on a few occasions, and they're using overlanders next year.
Next year for transporting the bikes.
Yeah, they're going into somewhere in Germany, which then you pick up parts of Switzerland and
savage.
The Selvio Pass in Italy, part of all that.
Wow.
You do a big area there, like it's €750 to get the bikes shipped over. As they said, might sound like a lot of money, but it's worth it because you literally fly in for 50 quid on the day. Like, your bike can be there. You don't have to. Your man said the terminal is here and the hotel is over there. You literally walk from the terminal, probably a 10-minute walk from the terminal to the hotel, and where they have the bikes is right next door to the hotel. You don't have to be there when your bike arrives there. Your bike, you can work it out. You give the bike to them. The bike is going to be shipped with 20 or 30 other bikes going to be there on whatever day, and you can judge it in yourself to fly in or whatever day that following week, 3 or 4 days after your bike gets there, and work out. And that's what the boys, I was talking to them at the Kevin Keyes Run there on Saturday, and they were telling me, they can roll in whenever they want. So then you don't have the day and a half, or you might as well say 2 days of the boat.
Yeah.
You don't have that, so you can work right up to, so you're not missing 2 days pay, say, from work, for example. So you can work right up until the day you fly. Yeah. You know, you could even work the day you fly, whatever.
And you ship all your gear with them.
Like, the whole lot. He said, you just bring a backpack. That's all. Yeah. And then whatever you bring when you're flying over, you put it into a locker there in that shed, and that's there for when you come back. You just take that bag out, and that's for your going home bag as well.
There's a fucking lot to be said for it, to be fair. We spoke about it in the last podcast. There is an awful lot to be said for that. You know, depending on the tour you're doing, i.e. if it's a trip you're doing, that getting there is half of the trip. Obviously, you know, overlanders or someone like that's not part of it. But if you're literally like that, going somewhere to do a spin, jeez, if you can get the bike sent over, it'd work out cheaper. Would.
Yeah, look, I suppose, because our big thing, we're going to have to be a fucking day and a half in this fucking boat and fucking day and a half back. So, like, if you didn't want, look, as I said, the going over, I enjoyed it. You know, you were all geared up, you were getting excited. It was the coming home, it was like, fuck me. It felt like forever. And then when you got off, then you had to ride the whole way up home. Then there was whatever, three or so hours up home. And at that point, you just wanted to get home.
Bike,
so if you do it the other way, the overlanders, you could literally turn a 2-week holiday back into like a 7-day one, like a week or a little, maybe 9 days, or something like that. Like, you know, so like our 14 days or whatever. Like, there was a lot of that. We realistically was only there for 9 days. I think we were 13 gone in total. We were there for 9. Then you had like 3 or 4 days wasted there as well, like travelling or whatever. We went down the night before too, you see. Stayed down in Rosslare that night.
It's food for thought. Like, there's loads of options out there. If you're looking at a trip and you're going, just I can't take 14 days. I know that would be my biggest, obviously, issue would be trying to take 2 weeks off work. And, obviously she's going to want a fucking holiday and the kids and the whole lot. So you couldn't use up all your holidays just to head off on the bike, but 7 days would be an awful lot more doable. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it'd make it a lot easier. Like, can you say, like, when you break it down, like, what are they saying? They're saying, I think, $7.50 and to €50. I don't know if it's a one way. Well, say for argument's sake, it's €100, €50 return or €100 return for your flights if you're getting them cheap during the week or some shit like that. So say €850. We were $430. We just left it at $450. We stayed in Rosslare then that night. So I forget how much that hotel was like 80 quid or 100 quid or something like that. We ate a good meal down there that night. We had a good few pints. So say there's another 150 gone there. So there's €600 straight away.
Starts evening out very quick, doesn't it?
Then you're obviously you have a couple of days there where you have to take off work. And you could be working them. There's your days paid, depending on what a lad's earning a day. Like, you're going over that 800 quid fairly quick, like,
Exactly, and especially as we said, if you're going somewhere to pick up on a road to do a certain trip, then it really is way cheaper to get the bike sent up, because not only are you on the boat for a day and a half, and then you say if you decide to stay the night before it down, before you get on the ferry, but then you're going to get off the ferry and you're going to do a day's ride into somewhere and probably spend another night in a hotel to get up the next morning and pick up the trail that you actually want to do.
Yeah, well, you see, they were going into Germany and they're doing all that. Germany, Switzerland, Italy, and wherever else they said. But, like, you can't, have someone riding on the bike if you wanted to ride to there. I know we were different going into Bilbao. I like going to the Pyrenees. I wouldn't use overlanders, I don't think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're being dropped on the route.
Yeah, like going to where they're going, you kind of have to use them.
As James said a great point the other day, we're talking about the Faro, the rally. Like, that'll be some job. Get the bike strapped over there, fly into Faro, the whole lot, and you have your bike there and tour around for a couple of days, do the rally and home.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean? There's definitely, look at it's food for thought. We must actually get the guys from Overlanders back on again and have another chat with them. They're due back on again. We should have made this a 2-part fucking pod. I knew well he'd go on and on for fucking ages.
You've been at me for weeks. Come over.
We should have done a 2-part on this one.
Well, see, if I was here when Tony and James was here the other week talking, I wouldn't have got a chance to talk.
True. That's true too, and that's saying something.
You got your fucking chance tonight.
You definitely go again. Look at it. Definitely, I say we got loads of messages from people just asking different questions with tips and planning on doing trips now. And it's mad. It seems to be very, very popular now. Whereas probably a good few years ago there was lads that would have done it, but it was kind of unheard of. It's nearly unusual now to meet somebody that hasn't done a trip to Europe. And do you know what I mean? It's getting really.
We met lads down in Rosslare that Tuesday night when we went down from Cork and Kerry. There was 17 of them going.
Yeah, it's a savage, man.
Now, I don't know how you'd...
I know that.
I don't know how that would... That's
I
think the 7 of us was just ideal. It was just enough. Just 17, I think that would be just a ball ache.
You never keep everyone happy anyway.
It just... Look, it went well. As I said, the weather was on our side. Everything went smoothly. And it's happy days, like,
Happy days, and you go again.
But definitely, I'd have a different bike with easier panniers. Like, I made that thing. It worked. It never fell off the bike, thank God. But it did work. It was just a bit of a ball ache getting... I brought inner bags to put into them bags because I couldn't take them off the bike. And Tiny gave me a set of inner bags that he had on the 1400, GTR 1400 he used to have. And they're out of hard cases, and I had to try and bait these into my saw panniers every morning and try and pull them out of them every night and bring them up to the room or whatever. And Yeah, it was just more hassle than it's worth. Where all the other boys had their hard cases, just open the lock, take out their soft bag that's inside and up to the room. And I'm like, oh, that's so handy. I wish we had a bike like that. Some places didn't have parking, so the bike was parked out in the street. Look, we all had them locked and chained together or whatever. But I couldn't leave any of my stuff in them soft bags because they weren't lockable. Like, so then, bear in mind, then some hotels will have parking or underground parking, or they'll have a garage. They will charge you extra for that. I think a lot of them are car parking bays, and I think they charge a £10 a bay, but we generally got the 7 bikes into 2 bays, like, so you'd be just paying that few quid extra or whatever. But no, other than that, as I say, petrol was reasonably priced and the whole shebang. So look, there was nothing out of the ordinary anyway.
No, 100%. Yeah.
Anyway, right, lovely jubbly. That was a great fucking holiday. Yeah. Absolutely.
Loved every minute of
it. Why did you invite him onto this?
Really, are we going to the NEC?
We are going to the NEC.
Are we? Are you coming,
100%.
I actually had it in my head there before you said it. I was thinking about it over the last few months. I would like to go, but you kind of need to be booking. You probably should have booked that ages ago. Really.
No, you booked the flights. No, you'll be all right with the flights.
I know that, but they start putting them up. I remember we went.
They're not deal. We priced them like
we went in 2019 for €50 return.
Yeah, look, 100%. Now you can get hours are working out probably. If you don't want to bring a bag, you get it for €100. Like, if you want to bring a bag, it's about €140.
Ryanair now, even to bring a fucking school bag, it's an extra.
I know.
No, but you can bring the one to put.
No,
you can.
You can't. But you pay extra for that.
You have to pay for that.
Oh, that was included.
No, they used to be up until.
Now it's what they call a small bag that fits underneath your seat.
No,
that's your basic one.
Yeah,
that's
your basic one.
Yeah, but I thought that was the one you could always bring for free.
You can bring a small bag for free, but the 10 kg cabin bag.
Yeah, but the small bag for free is good enough. I brought my helmet home in one of them.
Oh, you would, yeah.
You wouldn't even get that now.
No, you do. You do.
You wouldn't get a helmet in it because they're gone poor and bad for checking.
Yeah, but
so that helmet wouldn't fit in. If any part is protruding, they're pulling everything.
You'd fit a helmet in a backpack.
No. You'd fit it into a backpack, but you know that fucking checker thing that they have. You know that big metal yoke.
I know, but I've never been asked to put a bag into that.
No, but they're gone. They're gone seriously strict on it.
Yeah,
when you have the backpack up in your back,
just wear the helmet, folks.
Oh yeah, you can wear all the gear home. You coming in looking like Kevin Keyes, sitting on the plane with a full RST race.
We are going. The Motorcycle Hour podcast will be going to the NEC anyway. 100%.
When is that? The 22nd.
Well, I don't know what it starts. It's on for like the week, but it finishes the 23rd, which is the Sunday. We're going to go on the 22nd.
I looked up after you put them up there the other night on the group chat. You could go real early in the morning. Like, there's like a 6 o'clock flight.
Fuck that.
But we did do that before.
I done it as well.
And then there's one coming out earlier than about 4 o'clock in the evening. And it was only working out at like 80 quid or something.
Yeah, but there's no point, man. Because if you get to 6 o'clock in the morning flight, you're there at 7. Gates don't home until 9 o'clock.
I know, we got to breakfast and all there, and then we went on in.
Yeah. Whereas, like, if we do the one at 9, you don't have to get up at stupid o'clock in the morning.
I know that, yeah.
You know, you're over there for 10. It's only 10 minutes from the airport into the York. And then you look around for a couple of hours, horse a heap of pints into you, and back to the airport and back home and back here. And absolutely.
Who's not drinking then? Who's driving from the airport?
I don't know. We'll figure that out. But it's not fucking me, I guarantee you that. Come here, we're going to have to wrap this up. We're heading for 2 hours now. What we are going to say,
because you're some hard talk shy.
When you get when I go, oh, for fuck's sake. Next week's podcast, we have the powerhouse that is Holly Dennis going to be coming on to have a chat with us about some of her unbelievable accomplishments. At such a young age, she is taking the motorcycle racing scene by storm. So Holly Dennis is going to be coming on next week. So any questions, everybody knows Holly. If you don't, jump on Facebook, check her out, Holly Dennis Racing. So she'll be on next week. So any questions or stuff that anybody has for Holly, get them over to us before next week. Chav, you got anything else you want to say? And if you do, keep it fucking brief. No.
Why'd you live
Thanks
when it's
very
so
much.
fucking long?
There's no stopping him. He's
You're on every fucking week talking.
And come here, that's
He's just taking because
Every week.
he couldn't get a word. He couldn't
won't
get a
be
word.
able to listen to himself tomorrow.
Settle.
Stay in the flame there, Chav.
I just want to tell our listeners, if you ever want to hear Eamon really talking, you'll see him with a few Guinness. By jeez, you won't show him up.
No, you won't. I wouldn't mind, but it's just the worst thing about being the brains behind this. I have been bursting for the slash now for about an hour. And he wouldn't
It's
stop
the
talking.
way you kept putting up your hand.
Yeah.
So why do you keep asking me the question? You could have hit pause.
I think I asked you about 3 questions. No,
pause
you
and
can't.
then you can go again. Well, any other podcast I listen to, they do that.
Oh, do they? Yeah. Well, you shouldn't be fucking listening to any other ones, and that's the long and the
If
short.
the floor is round you, just blame shit.
Absolutely. We're going to wrap it up there for episode 55. Eamon, thanks very much for coming on. Come on more often, won't you?
Oh, I won't be back now for a few months again.
He's insulted now.
Thank fuck.
He's a
I know.
a good one.
Eamon, you can come back though, but we'll
but
we'll
you
just
can't.
have short
The
bursts.
next time I come back, he's not on it.
That's a
Right.
deal. That's
Right.
you're
Just leave him away from
definitely coming back, so you're definitely coming back.
The
That's
jazz
all
always on
See,
it.
the worst
Sorry,
about
but
moving the podcast back to the clubhouse here
know.
now, he's here.
No,
all day.
fucking, you couldn't get him out of my house either.
No, I know. He's like a bad smell.
Is that why we stopped doing the podcast in your house as well? Because Deborah
Debbie
was
was
sick
like,
looking
"Yeah,
out.
get
Oh,
that
for
shit."
fuck's sake, that let ever go down.
The fucking garden. No, I'm holy yes. Folks, thanks very much. If you're heading out on the bikes over the weekend, there's a couple of bits and pieces on the weekend. I'm not actually entirely sure what's on over the weekend, but stay safe and get home in one piece. We've had a horrific couple of days with some tragic motorbike accidents on the road. So stay safe, keep an eye out, and get home in one piece. And we will see us all back here for episode 56 next week with the one and only Holly Dennis. Sounds like a plan?
That's it, lad.
Down, bye.
Good luck.
Over now, folks.
Bye-bye.